Long ago, in the heart of the Sahara Desert, nestled between towering dunes of golden sand, stood a magnificent city. Its buildings were crafted from sandstone, perfectly blending with the environment. Lush palm trees adorned the courtyards of each home, providing shade for the happy townsfolk. This was a place where water flowed freely, and day palms bore fruit, all thanks to the benevolent ruler, Queen Makena, who possessed the extraordinary ability to control the desert winds. Makena's power was unmatched. She could summon gentle breezes to soothe her people during scorching days, coax rain from the clouds to water their crops, and shield her kingdom from sandstorms. She was known as the Desert Windwalker, a title given to her by her adoring subjects. However, fate had a cruel twist in store. As Queen Makena approached the twilight of her life, she realized that her powers were not hereditary and would vanish upon her death. Despite her best efforts, she couldn't find a successor worthy of inheriting her abilities. As the sun dipped below the horizon for the final time, Queen Makena breathed her last breath. Her spirit ascended to the heavens, leaving behind a legacy of wonder and uncertainty. With the passing of Queen Makena, the desert's bounty turned to dust, and the oasis became a desolate wasteland once more. The very essence of the desert, once so nurturing, reverted to its harsh, unforgiving nature. Without the guidance of the Desert Windwalker, the land suffered. Crops withered, livestock perished, and the people of the oasis endured hardship and loss. It seemed as though the desert itself had turned against them, burying their hopes for a better future under towering dunes of sand. Yet amidst this desolation, whispers of hope persisted. Legends spoke of the Desert Windwalker's spirit, returning to choose a successor. Someone who could restore balance to the desert and guide its people once again. In a small village nestled within the sprawling desert, there lived a young nomad girl named Amara. Unlike the privileged citizens of the oasis, Amara knew firsthand the harsh realities of life in the unforgiving desert. With scorching days and frigid nights, the desert tested its inhabitants every moment of every day. Amara and her family eked out an existence on the edge of the unforgiving dunes, always aware of the desert's capricious nature. Life was a constant struggle, but Amara never let it break her spirit. Despite the hardships she faced, Amara retained her optimism. She dreamed of a world where the desert would bloom again, where water would flow freely and the oasis would thrive. She yearned for a world where the Desert Windwalker would return and bring prosperity back to their lives. Amara's spirit, much like the resilient desert, had learned to endure and adapt. Even in the harshest conditions, she found strength in her resilience and hope for a brighter tomorrow. One fateful evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, a strange phenomenon occurred. The wind carried a whisper that seemed to echo through the dunes. It was a mysterious call, one that seemed to reverberate deep within Amara's soul. Intrigued and a bit frightened, Amara decided to seek guidance from her grandmother, Zara. Zara, with her years of wisdom and knowledge of the desert's secrets, was respected by all in the village. Her calm demeanor and insightful guidance made her a beacon of hope in times of despair. "Grandmother," Amara began, her voice trembling slightly as she recounted the mysterious whisper she had heard. Zara listened intently, her gaze distant as if she were journeying through the sands of time. When Amara finished, Zara's eyes twinkled with a mixture of curiosity and understanding. "Amara, my dear," Zara began, her voice a soothing balm in the gathering darkness, "the winds have chosen you. You are destined to be the Desert Windwalker's successor." Amara's eyes widened in surprise, and before she could utter a word, Zara continued, "But beware, a great sandstorm is rising, one that threatens to bury everything in its path. If you cannot control the desert winds, the entire kingdom will be lost." Zara's words hung in the air like a prophecy, setting in motion the wheels of fate. Amara's journey was just beginning. Determined to fulfill her destiny, Amara set out on a perilous journey across the treacherous desert. Accompanying her was her loyal camel, Sefu, whose steadfast presence offered a sense of comfort in the vast and unforgiving landscape. Their quest was fraught with danger, and Amara knew that her survival depended on her ability to navigate the unforgiving terrain and confront the formidable challenges that lay ahead. But Amara was not alone. Along her journey, she encountered individuals who would become integral to her quest. First, she met Khamari, a young desert warrior renowned for his courage and skill. Recognizing Amara's determination, Khamari pledged to protect her on her journey, forming a bond that promised mutual support and understanding. Then Naya, a wise sand singer with an uncanny ability to communicate with the desert itself, joined their company. Nia's mystical connection to the desert provided invaluable guidance, helping Amara decipher the cryptic messages hidden within the shifting dunes. Together, this unlikely trio ventured forth, united by their common purpose and the hope of restoring balance to the windswept plains. Their destination? The Valley of Echoes was shrouded in mystery. Legends spoke of it as a place where the spirits of the desert dwelled, and it was here that Amara hoped to unlock the secrets of her newfound powers and fulfill her role as the Desert Windwalker's successor. The road to the Valley of Echoes was fraught with peril. The trio braved scorching heat, navigated treacherous sandstorms, and confronted mythical creatures that emerged from the desert's untamed heart. Throughout these trials, Amara's courage and determination never wavered. She faced each challenge head-on, learning valuable lessons about herself and the true meaning of leadership along the way. The desert tested her resolve, pushing her to the limits of her endurance. Yet, with each obstacle overcome, Amara grew stronger, more resolute, and more attuned to the whispers of the wind. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of relentless sun and whispering sand, the Valley of Echoes came into view. As they entered the valley, a profound silence enveloped them, broken only by the soft wind. It was here, in this place of hushed tones and timeless echoes, that Amara's ultimate trial awaited. Before them stood the ruins of an ancient temple, its crumbling walls bearing silent witness to generations past. This was the nexus of the desert's spiritual energy. And it was here that the spirit of the Desert Windwalker resided, waiting to be passed on to the Chosen One. But the desert, with its timeless wisdom, had prepared one final test. For as Amara stepped into the heart of the valley, a colossal whirlwind materialized before her, its swirling mass of sand obscuring her vision and threatening to engulf her in its chaotic embrace. The air crackled with raw energy as the wind's power surged around her, testing her resolve and challenging her spirit. It was a confrontation between human tenacity and the untamed forces of nature. Battle for dominance in the theater of the endless dunes. With the whirlwind raging around her, Amara felt the full force of the desert's raw power. But instead of cowering in fear, she stood firm, drawing strength from the unwavering support of her companions. In that moment of truth, Amara realized that the key to controlling the desert winds lay not in brute force, but in harmony and understanding. As the whirlwind continued its furious dance, Amara closed her eyes, reaching deep within herself to find the courage that had been her constant companion on this arduous journey. When she spoke, her voice resonated with newfound authority. "Desert winds! I am your queen!" she proclaimed, extending her arms towards the raging storm. "I am here to guide and protect you, not with force, but with love for the people and the land we call home." As these words left her lips, a hush fell over the desert. The swirling winds gradually stilled, and the towering vortex began to shift, revealing a clearing sky above and the majestic ruins of the ancient temple at her feet. The desert, as if sensing the purity of her intentions, responded to her heartfelt plea. Slowly, the sand settled, revealing the weathered stones of the temple, silent sentinels of a bygone era. The whirlwind, now a gentle breeze, caressed her face, carrying with it the scent of blooming desert flowers. The oppressive silence that had hung heavy in the valley lifted, replaced by the sweet melody of birdsong and the rustling of leaves in the newfound gentle breeze. The desert, once again in balance, reveled in the restoration of harmony. Emerging from the heart of the whirlwind, Amara basked in the warm glow of the setting sun, her silhouette framed against the vibrant hues of the desert sky. In that moment of triumph, she knew that her journey had just begun. With the desert's blessing, Amara returned to her village, where she was greeted as a hero. The people, their faces etched with the hardships they had endured, now shone with newfound hope. Amara, with the spirit of the Desert Windwalker by her side, set about the task of rebuilding their lives. Under her guidance, the desert bloomed anew. Palm trees swayed in the gentle breeze, their fronds rustling tailies of the wind. Date palms laden with fruit dotted the landscape, promising nourishment for all. The people, their spirits lifted by Amara's compassion, worked together to restore their homes and livelihoods. The once desolate wasteland had transformed into a thriving oasis, a testament to the power of unity, courage, and the indomitable spirit of the human will. Thus, the legend of the Desert Windwalker was reborn with Amara, who, with her innate kindness and unwavering determination, ushered in an era of prosperity and balance to the windswept lands. Her reign marked a new chapter in the history of the desert, one where the winds whispered not of despair, but of hope, resilience, and the enduring spirit of the human soul.